Well, wasn't that one of the longest international breaks in as many decades? After 17 days, 16 years, according to a FIFA song, or even a hot minute, we are back for another edition of the FPL Addicts podcast. The season running finally. Let's get into it. I know Ashton Hall, yeah, but I had to turn one of the tabs off because there was an echo. But welcome, Game Week 30. Not quite a double game week, not quite a blank game week. That is just what we have gone past. Is there any silverware to be won yet? Well, this is a crucial period, which is why we haven't quite got any silverware, but we definitely have a trophy of our own this beloved evening. As always, the Reidy and trophy FPL in Mo. Look, first to you, Reidy. How's your international break treated you?
Oh, how's it treated me, mate? Oh, I mean, I just don't watch it. I switch off. I'm like counting down the days, and it's almost like Christmas, but not as fun because you're not getting any chocolates when you open up the calendar. Do you know what I mean? It's just you're not counting out the days. There's something amazing. You're just like sat there twiddling your thumbs, thinking, "When's the proper football coming back?" Do you know what I mean? Get rid of this nonsense. So it's been longer than usual. I'll tell you that much. But with all that, there's obviously chaos, you know, and as we're probably going to talk about tonight, and as people know from FA Cup results and injuries, yeah, there's a few things being activated this game week, that's for sure.
Mo, good evening to you as well.
Good evening. How you doing, boys?
Mate, I'm good. I'm just glad that I don't have to receive a meme from you off Instagram pretty much every day, letting me know how long
That's how you know it's been an international break, innit? I've got to keep myself busy because, like Reidy just said, it's been the longest international break ever. And I'm not really a fan of international football, unless maybe the tournaments, but definitely not the qualifiers or these fake Nations Cups or whatever that nonsense is. So, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it. So I was waiting for the football to come back, yeah.
Mo, what has been your take on the FPL season? I like to ask this with every guest we have on. What's your take on the new rules? What's been your favourite? What do you believe it has been quite an overpowered sort of aspect of the game that has come in new?
So I think the assistant manager has been the big thing this season. And it's when it first came out, I was not happy with the chip. I thought it was overpowered. And in fact, I still think it's overpowered, but I'm starting to come round to it, actually, that it's an actual game changer chip. The chips are meant to be there for us to be able to maybe resurrect a poor season, but normally it's very difficult. You're normally lucky if you get 15 to 20 points from, say, a triple captain, a wild card, or a free hit, something like that, or a bench boost. Where this one here, for example, I used it and I got 48 points. I mean, that's huge. That is a game changing. I mean, unfortunately, it's not changed my season. That season's been a bit dire, but it is an incredible chip. So I think that's been the biggest thing to come out of this season. Apart from that, I think it's been I'd say one of the boring aspects. I mean, me and Reidy are more than happy because it's Liverpool related, but the captaincy's been destroyed this season. You just captain Mohamed Salah. I, for one, I've tried to go against him many times this season and I've been destroyed. Literally. So people that started the season well and only captained him could just continue captaining him, and trying to make gains on those people has been a nightmare because obviously you're trying to captain someone else and Salah just destroys them. So that's been one of the, I think, negatives, even though it's a positive for our team though, if that makes sense. So partly I'm not too upset in a way, but really for FPL, it's been very bad. So yeah, but they're two things are my takeaways from this season.
Fair takes.
Yeah, it's interesting, Mo, because it's like, you know, we got excited about this. What's this mystery chip and stuff? It was like the big reveal, and then when it did get revealed, it was like, oh, okay. People were like, like, what do we think of this? Oh, actually, this isn't like what we're used to FPL, picking players. And then it was like, oh, it comes out of the budget. Oh, it takes up a player spot. You know, you can't go for free from one team. I've got to use a transfer, you know, obviously after the first one if you want to change. So I think that's definitely ruffled a few feathers. And people have kind of said, it's such a powerful chip, as you mentioned before, but it can be such a like downer of a chip. Like it can be just, you know what I mean? It can go the opposite way, and then you're like, you just hate it. I mean, there's chips that we've had in the game for so many years now. Like bench boost, people are just like, you know, what's the like what the ceiling or what's the minimum that you're happy with to get from that chip? You know, triple captain, you're like, let's play it a double. You kind of know what to expect and things like that. But this AM chip has just been, I mean, whether they'll bring it back next season, I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely been a bit chaotic with extra chips and up to 5 free transfers, obviously as well. So
of course, I forgot about that. That's huge. That's actually huge. You're right. Yeah, good point. What if they bring the AM chip and make it just standard every week? It's not a chip. Basically, you have to pick a manager and they score points like that. Can you imagine that? And that's part of our budget. That would be huge as well, right? That could change things up completely. I mean, a lot of managers who I, pod with and whatnot, they don't like this chip. They hate it. They don't want to see it next season. I got a feeling it will be here again next season.
Oh, I really don't know. I feel like now there's more players than ever, and we always say like the pool of players isn't what we see, in black and white. It is much smaller, etc. But I feel like they're just going to try and make the game more and more complex. Now they've introduced this chip. It's like, well, what can we introduce next? Oh, well, what can we do this and that and whatnot? And the people who've played it for years and years, like ourselves, are kind of going to go, why are they kind of complicating things? Keep it maybe basics, tweak something, but don't like trying to. We've all seen what happened with FPL Challenge and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like that concept, that idea, and whatnot. It just probably didn't fly, and people are just happy with the game. You know what I mean? The normal game itself. So yeah, it'd be interesting, definitely, and I hope like there's not enough game weeks where like we get blanks, doubles to use these chips, man. There's people who've got like 4 chips left now with 8 game weeks to go.
That's another thing that's actually changed because of the FA Cup. You're reminding me now. That's quite a lot. I only said 2. Now you've mentioned another 2. So as well as the 5 free transfers, the change to the FA Cup replays has killed almost the double game weeks. This season's one of the first seasons I ever remember. You can wildcard, you could free hit whenever you really want. There ain't no like meta. I mean, one might come out in hindsight where we all go, "Oh, you should have done it that well." Yeah, it's easy after the game week. But if you look at it now, loads are bench boosting in 32, loads are bench boosting in 33, loads are wildcarding in 35, loads are wildcarding in 32, 30 now. So that just tells you, because of what you said, there's not much doubles, not much blanks. You can kind of just navigate through. Like obviously, one will turn out to be the optimum. But as of now and how the chip strategies, we're going to talk about that later on. But yeah, I think that's another good point what you mentioned. That's changed the landscape this season.
Yeah, for sure.
That's correct. Well, speak of takeaways, especially from our biggest blank game week so far, especially from our previous guest Roberto, Mo or Reidy, who would like to take the floor in terms of showing their game week 29 side?
Oh, do we have to? I
can't remember mine. Was it?
Mo might have done all right, but like, I mean,
Mate, can you share screen or not?
I can share screen.
I don't think it was a great game week from my memory, like all them years ago.
I think mine was not bad actually. I think it was all right.
Do you know your team ID?
Yeah, I can give you my team ID, or if you want me to share screen, whichever is easier for you. Which one's easier for you?
It might be easier to go via team ID. Slender Magic. What is it?
It's 11060.
11060. See what
Quite a nice one, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's a simple one to remember. Let's say it's loading up now. Apologies, guys. We're getting there. Mohammed Dream, mate. What are you talking about? 61 points. I've got to get this up. Hold on,
I took a -4. So it's not that great. I took a -4 to bring Haaland in and sell Salah. You can't make this up this season, honestly.
Yeah.
Right.
61 -4. I mean, I think that's still good going. That considering,
yeah, it's not
could be
too
much worse than that, and I'm sure we're going to see that in a minute with mine. But come on, Chaza, we got to see what players Mo had sometime today, please.
Is it up?
Yeah, it's up. You can see it. Yeah. If you just scroll up a little bit more, we could see the whole team, I think. If you just, maybe,
they're all thereabouts.
So that's when Palmer didn't play and I got a sub. Dango came on for his 1-pointer. Ouch. So this game week here, I used the -4, took two transfers. I remember selling Salah for, did I bring in for Salah actually? Oh, Bruno Fernandes, which was good because he destroyed Leicester. I didn't captain him though. And I bought in Haaland and I sold, who did I sell for Haaland? I can't remember, but I bought Haaland in and Haaland got 1 return. He should have got more. I captained Haaland. So yeah, it was not bad. And it would have been realistically that move. Oh, I bought in Vardio as well. I done 3 transfers. That move was an aggressive move to attack that game week and also set me up for this game week. So now I would have been looking at a team with Vardio looking ahead to Leicester and Haaland, where I spoke to you earlier on, it's difficult to go against Salah captaincy. This was one of the few game weeks. It looked juicy. Haaland against this Leicester team. This Leicester team is hideous. I could see him. It was a minimum hat-trick, if I'm honest with you. You saw against Bournemouth, he should have scored a hat-trick in the first 25 minutes. And Bournemouth are good. Leicester are terrible. So it's such a big shame, and we'll talk about the Haaland news soon, but that's been removed now. So that move just looks horrible. I'm going to have to reverse it, which brings on the extra discussions regarding Wildcard. So overall, I was happy in Silo for this game week here, boys. But if I look at it further forward, I'm a bit gutted. It didn't really work out how I wanted.
Yeah, and I think that the Palmer thing, that was unexpected, right? We got nothing, no info on that, did we? If I remember rightly, it was we didn't know what was going on. When obviously it came that he wasn't in the squad and stuff. So yeah, man, it's just things I guess it's got to that point in the season. Some things going okay, and some things are just just going wrong, and you're like, oh, what do we do? I think that's what's made it a little bit more tricky. Come pre FA Cup, you know what I mean? We were always saying, weren't we, for ages? Oh, we'll know more when the FA Cup's done and this, that, and the other. Yeah. And then pre-FA Cup, it was okay, this player's not getting minutes, or what do we do with Cunha, who's been suspended, people like that. It feels like there's been a few curveballs considering, I guess it was promised to be a really, really good season with all the chips and everything like that. Is there anything what I'm trying to probably say is there anything in particular, I know we can say the Haaland move hasn't worked out, but is there anything in particular, a move you've made where you've gone, that's just backfired completely?
There's been loads. If I'm honest, this season, what have you started? This season, this season, I've not had a season like this for a long time. Obviously, I've been playing FPL for a long, long time, so I've had hideous seasons. It can happen, but this season has been unique. As in, I knew I was in trouble. I think from game week 6 or 7, I knew I was already doomed. Because not only, like you said, I was making sometimes moves which seemed logical. They were backed by either data or whether I was comfortable with the fixture, whatever the reasoning was. But sometimes they've gone not just wrong, which is standard. You could easily make a move. You say you sell Wood to bring in, say, Marmoush just randomly. Marmoush could blank, Wood could score, get 6 points. That's normal. You don't even moan about that. Anyone that's played FPL for a long time, you don't moan. But what's happened this season, which has been unique, is I would do that move and Wood would get 4 goals and Marmoush would get a red card. And that is the extreme of the results that's happened to me, not just on one occasion. I went back and checked a lot of my game weeks, because sometimes I want to check to see, was I just making stupid moves?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I pod every week with, I do deadline dilemmas with Price. So I get almost a bounce ideas and judgment with a very good manager. And there's not been once where someone has pulled me up and said, Mo, you're doing a crazy maverick move. No, they've been solid, good moves. But the outcomes have not just been, they've been super extreme. That's what I've not seen that. And it was, for me, I mean, it was highlighted in the game week where I think Liverpool were going to play Southampton. Yeah. Remember, in between the PSG game. Yeah. And Palm, I can't remember who he had. He had, I think, Leicester or something like that. And he ended up, did he miss a penalty? I can't remember, or something ridiculous. And he only played 70 minutes because allegedly he was sick. And Salah, who had the most difficult game, PSG coming up, played 90 minutes against Southampton and got 2 returns. That just, for me, is a perfect example, wow, did I really misjudge it that much? Or was that, I don't know, so extreme that as Southampton scored first, which you wouldn't expect as they're a rubbish team, Salah ended up playing the 90 minutes. I mean, in hindsight, we know that was a bad move by our manager Slot. Obviously, we had PSG. We looked tired there. But yeah, so that's just an example this season of what's been happening. I think I had one good month this season, only December. Apart from that, it's been just a shocking season for me, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. I think it's difficult. There was a point you made there about, that was it. It was about the outcome. And
you know what, guys? Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you to say, just in case something crazy happened, I just see a pop-up on my screen.
Yeah.
Firmware update recovery, it might restart. I hope it doesn't restart now. I hope I pressed postponement. It keeps on popping up non-stop. So just in case, if it does, I'm going to have to, it'll force my hand.
You don't use a Mac or anything, or like Apple or
anything? No. Just it's a Windows PC.
But Windows.
For some reason, the firmware, but it's having a little wobble. I can see it popping up non-stop. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, you're just trying to postpone it as many. Mine does that. I postpone it and it'll give me 3 chances. On the last one, I'm like, postpone. It's like, right, you've got 1 hour.
That's what's worried me. The postpone button's gone. It's only now restart. Look, the firmware on this.
Speaking of restart, can I restart the season? Because I've had a shocker. Thanks for coming. Cheers, Ta.
Yeah. That's my season. Exactly that. That's sorry to interrupt you. Just in case it happens, I'll jump straight back on.
Yeah, no worries, Mo. You do what you need to do if it does.
Only December's been good though, boys. Apart from that, it's been a horror show.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to say, that in terms of something FPL managers say to each other, and it's almost like that thing of when you get a burn and like someone puts someone puts a plaster over it just to kind of just make you feel a bit better, and people will say right decision, wrong outcome. That saying is horrible because it makes you feel a bit better because you're like, do you know what, I made the right decision, but the outcome was unlucky, or this happened. And like you say in there, Palmer had a penalty saved, only played so many minutes. Mo ended up playing the 90, got 2 penalties, and it's like, they're the things you're going, all right, yeah, it was the right decision, wrong outcome. Well, actually, no, I've just been screwed. We get so frustrated and we're like,
I think it was game week 1. We was at Meets and I had Bruno in my team. I'm sure he had 2 one-on-ones. One of them he tried to hit it with the outside of his boot. 2 literally the easiest chances you can get. Like, they are easy chances. And he missed them. When I saw that, I was thinking, okay, it's nothing. It can happen. I tried my best to not moan about things that can happen to anyone or regularly. But then it happened again. I think I had Bruno Ezra start of the season. They were the highest, I think, XG non-conversions. Like, they were producing ridiculously big chances. So like you said, I mean, what more can you say apart from it can happen in this game? It really can, and you just have to own it. You have to own it and hope next season it doesn't go like that. It's as simple as that.
Well put, Mal. Well put.
Yeah, fair play. This is why you're bringing the trophies to the Addicts. It's all in the name. And
hopefully the trophy for next season. This season is going to be no trophy. That name came from originally. I used to win all my mini leagues with all my friends, so that's why they used to say that to me. That's the reason behind it. But
I remember
no winning this season.
Not too long ago, it was like, or maybe a couple of seasons or so ago. I remember, especially maybe on FPL Juice when you first started on there and whatnot, that anyone who'd ever give you any stick in the chat and all the rest of it, you had the rank to back it up, and it would just be like, you wouldn't even it'd be like, nah, you ain't even in my league, just pipe down. So I love that about you. But obviously, I know that the ranks can, have that sort of, okay, you got the rep, you got the good ranks and all the rest of it. But now people who, and I've seen, other content creators, FPL Salah and, Late Risers and all these other people who are like, their rank's crazy, in the millions and things like that. And I'm like, now you see how much more difficult it's becoming every year for people. So yeah, man, interesting season though. It's not been all bad, and obviously we've got good things to discuss that are coming. Hopefully, if you want to use chips and things like that, I know you boys or at least one of you are looking at that. I haven't got a wild card, so I'll just get that out there right now. There's no wild card for me. I've used mine, so no exciting wild card for me this game week. But going back to last game week, which I won't dwell on too long, 41 points, 3 transfers, could have gone better. I mean, Marmoush was probably saving grace, really. I mean, like, I went for Marmoush over Haaland, and that was something that I pondered. I was like, am I being stupid? Should I just go for Haaland? Like loads of the people were. His ownership was really low, and obviously he was going to be captain quite a bit as well. It didn't work out probably because I just thought I'm going to go for Wood. I mean, they had a good game, didn't they? A good fixture. I think Forest against Ipswich, was it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it was Ipswich, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 4-2. Chris Wood involved in nothing. And that's one of those captain sort of things you were saying before, Mo. Should have maybe just went, do you know what, I'm bringing in Marmoush, I'll just captain him. But the idea for me was like, I'll bring in 2 City, and my third one was actually a Forest, to be fair. I was looking at like Aina and players like that, and I went for Nico Williams because I thought, do you know what, his numbers have not been bad. He's cheap though as well. I can use him going forward as a good, bench rotation thing. And yeah, to be honest with you, the happiest I was about this really bad score was probably Timber with a 9-pointer.
That's big, yeah, that's huge.
Gabriel, naturally, it's always Gabriel and Saliba on the BPS. You boys know this. And I've not owned Gabriel for whether I've owned him this season, I don't know. And I brought Timber in, and I was always seeing that like the bonus or these other guys again. I was like, why did I go for him? And in this game, I was checking the bonus system, the bonus points. And then I noticed he was on the free. I was like, oh my God, clean, gets the free. So I was happy with that. But that's it, boys. Like I say, I ended up on this last bit, 3 transfers, right? How many players did I end up with? Playing players?
8.
10. Because Palmer didn't play. So I ended up making 3 transfers and still not having a full 11.
Wow.
So,
That is crazy. Yeah. Palmer messed you up like me as well. That was unexpected. No one knew nothing about that. That was he had a scan apparently on something, which we didn't get much information on. So yeah, that was frustrating.
Interesting for people who've still got him like myself, what they're going to do with him going forward. But I know you boys could probably touch on that factor a little bit later. Are you okay, Chaza? You're not falling asleep, or you're not going to
put Chaza to sleep? Was that orange in his face?
I'm just preparing.
Oh wait. Yeah, 5 at the back. You know, we used to talk about big at the back, Mo. This is extra big.
Oh, one up front.
One up front, and the highlight has got to be, well, Mbumo did what he could. A Robinson 7-pointer. That's it. See you later.
Wow.
What did he score?
29.
Oh wow! Yeah, he had a grim.
Oh,
you had a grim week there. Wow.
I'm so glad we started with Mo first.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, saying that way, actually could have been like save the best till last, but
yeah.
Oh my God.
That is I can see why you're holding your face like that. Yeah, this is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. When you get game weeks like this and people are scoring 60, when you're losing 30 to 40 points in a game week, do you know how dangerous that is in FPL?
Huge,
I can't explain. Yeah, FPL is a game of 3 to 4 points, 5 points. If you lose that, that's huge. When you're losing 30, 40, it's very difficult to recover. So difficult. That's crazy.
100%. And
that's like doubling your rank.
The game week rank, look at that as well. 8.2. Jesus. Wow.
Wow, you outdone yourself there, mate. That's very unlucky.
Did you save transfer? Obviously, like we're talking about like what you were going to do going forward. You didn't know because obviously this was a blank game week. So you were like FA Cup, blah blah blah. Did you have transfers left in the bank?
Yeah, I've got 3 and 1.7 heading into this week.
So you had 2 left after making the 1, right? So you had 3 for that game. Wow. No way. Crazy. But yeah, don't dwell on, like I say, I thought mine was bad. Just move on, man. Just put it behind you straight away. That's all you can do, man. That's what I can't even say to him. Oh, right decision. bad outcome, because that's just not even gonna. It's not even gonna make him feel better. So
Nah,
yeah,
that one there, you can't redeem a game week like that. To be honest,
no.
It's just all you can do is, and you had a whole international break to simmer over it. You normally want a quick game week so you can get rid of that scoreline. That's what you kind of want. You've had a full solid 2 weeks to stare at that. Not good.
It's not good
but
at all.
I'm sure
What
we
have we
can.
got?
I'm sure we can change that feeling for the game week 30. I suppose, because I know Chaza's had a little chat with him today and got a rough idea what he's up to, what he's going to do. So yeah, what's next on the agenda, Chaza? What do you want to?
Yeah, I'm actually just
go?
about to get the public league up, to be honest. A brief check on it. So Tom Stone still leads by what is turning out to be a whopping 50 points. No, sorry, 18 points. He got 57, so I can't believe it. I've had a shocker so far. Bill Stewart in second, Andrew rounding out the top three with a really good 74-point score in a blank game week. Now, I want to talk about this because the FA Cup, this is sensational, isn't it? Unfortunately, Man City have got through, but having such an open race with the three sides now in Forest, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Mo, how good is it for this game in itself that seeing sides such as them go this far?
I think it's very good. If you mean how good is it for FPL, it's vital because it looks like the Prem at the moment is close to being decided. I'm not going to sit here and say it's done, but it's close. The relegation looks like it's done as well. And the reason I say that is that means that's quite a lot of teams already with not a lot to play for, which is dangerous in FPL. You start getting random rotation. Managers start trying things out. I'm going to give you an example. Teams like Spurs and Manchester United, I mean, do they really care about the Prem? I mean, they might have to try because fans are there, but the reality is they're going to fully commit for Europe now. I mean, what else can you do? You can't go nowhere. There's no money implications, really. There's a bit of pride, I suppose. So the point is, to answer your question, those teams that are still fighting, that's good. Because if we're selecting players from them, we can count on the strongest 11 being there. You know, they've got heart. They're playing for something. So it's vital for us in the Premier League. Otherwise, it starts reaching that stage where, last, say, 3 games of the season, you tend to see some strange results and strange teams. And we don't want that starting now. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I'm happy that there is teams fighting, like you said, for those positions. It's very good for the league and for FPL.
Reidy, what about you? What's your take? Palace, Villa, Forest?
Yeah, I mean, like the league is great this season, how it looks. And I think obviously, aside from Bournemouth losing to City in the FA Cup, it would have been a great semi-final with those 4 teams in it. Obviously, City have won their 7th semi-final in a row or something. The league, how it reflects, like Mo was saying, Tottenham, Man United, all the way down there. As a Liverpool fan, obviously love it that United are down there. Don't mind it at all. Keep that going every season. But yeah, like the league itself, the FA Cup, how that's panned out. Obviously, we've seen the Newcastle winning the League Cup. It's probably up there with seasons in terms of so much difference and variance in how bad the top teams, because we used to have the top 6 or the big 6 or whatever. Yeah. This season's it's just nowhere near. All right, Chelsea are up there in 4th, and City probably aren't far behind, but normally it's City, Arsenal, Liverpool, then it'd be Chelsea, United, or it'd be Spurs would be up there, things like that. So I think it's great. And the fact that we could get Newcastle winning the League Cup and hopefully one of Forest, Palace, or Villa winning the FA Cup will be massive, because one of those would qualify for Europe as well, the Europa League and stuff like that. And the amount of English teams that go into these European competitions now is insane. It's massive. So I love it. I love that. I just wish FPL was maybe a bit more not enjoyable, but I just wish it went better. But don't we all? You know what I mean? I mean, what do you think about ranks, Mo? Is 50k good, or do you think do you just want top K or? Nah,
50k is very good, and everyone's individual and how they sort of review or enjoy the season. I've recently been greedy. I've got a taste of some nice ranks, and it's like I want that all the time. Where the reality is, that's not going to happen. So 50k is incredible in a game that's so difficult now, where people are using loads of different tools. There's so much content. There's analytics all over the place. I mean, it's it's top 50k, top 100k, ridiculous. Very, very well done if you achieve that. So nothing wrong with that. But yeah, for me personally, I mean, just winning a mini league that you're most interested in, that you're invested in, that is good enough for you to be able to enjoy FPL. I want more. I'd love top 10k, top 5k sort of finishes. I'd love that. I aim for it. The reality is, though, so many things need to go right. And if I'm only going to be happy if I get that rank, I'll best just stop playing FPL because it's not going to happen frequently.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah, no, great stances. I just like speaking a lot of bollocks to Reidy each week. That's the best part about the
season. I'm sure we're all guilty of doing that at times. You know what I mean? Like it's you can get a bit wrapped up at times, and you go, right, okay, let's back to the drawing board. Let's be calm. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this game. We were talking about being calm and making the right choices. I mean, well. Could go either way, right choices, wrong choices, whatever. But yeah, I don't want to carry on saying too much because I feel like Chaza's like building up to this moment, and I'm gonna like wreck it. Right. But yeah, carry on, Chaza.
What I will say is that if this was a musical theatre song and our team reveals or possible chip reveals is like a chorus, we're sort of hitting the pre-chorus part at the moment. Okay, so just give it a couple of extra lyric lines and we'll get there. Women's League is another one. Mira, one of our favourite Aussies, still on top. A fantastic game week score from her. A bit of movement also with inside the top 10, but we'll see how the season running treats everyone else. Now we've got to speak about two sides who are now hit their relevant stocks when it comes to the running. And that is Newcastle, Crystal Palace, both having a double game week 32. Palace could well have one in 33, but it's not yet confirmed. Reidy, let's start off with you first. To Venmo, who are we targeting from these sides?
Oh, well, that's it. It's got to be Palace. I mean, I think a lot of people who are on wildcards and stuff, especially, are going to be going for triple Palace. They double in 32. I've got two Palace defenders, one Palace attacker. I would like to be on the other side of it and have a Palace midfielder as extra, but it's just the way it is. And I think, with these double fixtures now, people are just going to kind of like wildcarders are going to plan it in a way where they've got all the doublers. They hopefully can get doublers for 33 and avoid like the blank in 34. So, it's not all like straightforward, I guess. Although I do, I've seen quite similar wildcards, but I feel like people have said, "Oh, Haaland's injured now. It's so much easier." They're right in that sense. I mean, you've got obviously loads of money to spend because you're not spending it on Haaland, and then do we keep Salah? Do we get rid of him? Saka's now maybe coming back. So yeah, I feel like it is pretty obvious when you're going towards like which teams to pick for the doubles and things. And Palace are probably top of the shopping list at the minute, especially with like Eze's and Sars and Matetas and whatnot.
I totally agree with you, mate. So I might be, we'll discuss this later on. I think you've got a nice, like you said, the build-up is getting there, but I could be one when we talk about the chip strategies, I could be activating tonight. So just so you know, so the triple Crystal Palace and triple Newcastle, I will be there 100%. The Haaland injuries made things, like you said, whether it's made things easier, it's made things worse, I think, because then you've removed more complexity, more potential to make gains. Because now you've got no Haaland, you 100% have Salah. Where if you went Haaland, there was a small possibility you might not go Salah, you might go Palmer. Just say an example, could have went Palmer or Saka, but now that's killed it. It's 1,000,000,000% Salah, and you can even have another premium like either Palmer or Saka and still have a great team.
Yeah.
The Palace players I really like, they pick themselves. Munoz, I think there's a couple actually, and you might want to go a different way, but I think Mateta and Munoz are very strong. I think a lot of them very, very strong. And then you've got Henderson, believe it or not, in goal. He's been clicking up the points if you wanted to go for a goalkeeper, but he wouldn't be my choice. And in midfield, you've got two options. A lot are going for Saar if you need budget to save. I prefer Eza personally. I had Saar before at one stage of the season. He wasn't great for me. So that's the triple Crystal Palace. I like it. The entry point this game week, the fixture's gorgeous, Southampton away. So we love that. And then they've got the double-double, which is quite unique. We've had a couple of them this season. You don't often get that. I think it will be locked in for game week 33, judging by what a lot of the guys who are very into the predictions and rescheduling fixtures. It looks like it's going to fit there. But like you said, it's fair to say it's not been locked in yet. But so that's the triple Crystal Palace. I think it picks itself. Triple Newcastle, maybe more trickier. I think one defender or maybe a goalkeeper, very similar. Up front, it's a no given. If they had no doubles, you'd still have Isak. He's having that type of season. Midfield, loads are going to go for Murphy, cheap, so you can bench him for bench boost options and still utilize him in the doubles. And then, but Gordon's the better option, but he's suspended, so it makes it a little awkward. You're bringing him in, don't use him, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I think both treble ups are pretty easy to pick there. I mean, how different can you be? How different can you be? There's not much other options really in those two teams there.
Yeah, how different can you be? You said was that like a play on words? How, using the word how?
Eddie Howe. No, I wish I did do that. No, I'm not clever enough to think of that. No, but it's just more trying to think how you could be a bit different. Because I was looking at things. I had a couple of play around last night before I was doing my video last night. So I was on a space and doing my work and stuff, and trying to be different is very difficult. Very difficult. All these two teams, they're going to be a bit boring, a bit templatey, unfortunately. I think the wild card, and these Newcastle and Crystal Palace picks, they're going to be a bit boring. Yeah,
that's true. We did see a kind of little bit of a similar thing last season with Palace and the doubles. They had did they have one or two doubles? I can't remember, but it was when Mateta was getting into that form, and a load of people used it on was it a free hit, and people went in on Palace and did really well and stuff. So it's about that time again. But then Newcastle. No love for obviously Barnes, isn't it? It's one of them. Does he start? Do you really want to have him? You probably have Murphy based on his minutes and his form, I'd say, this season. And then, the thing with the wild card this week, if you are going this week, some people are going to be going trip strategy AM 31, 32, 33. So it's do you just go, like I said before, if on wild card you're going, well, actually, maybe I want to go for Eddie Howe in 31 onwards because he has the double in 32. So I'm thinking, okay, that moves free. I've got him then 32 with doubles. Then what you could do is potentially move to Arteta in 33 when he doubles. Obviously, good fixtures against Ipswich and Palace, and there's five fixtures that you're getting. So this is what I was saying before when you were talking about 3 Newcastle, 2 maybe pick themselves in terms of Gordon, Isak. However, the defensive side of things, it's Dan Burn, Livramento. Would you go for a keeper? Probably not, because it's Dubravka seems like he's back, but then you never know. Eddie Howe might be I'll just give Pope 1 week this week. So
Pope's been playing, I think, last couple of weeks.
He had. He came back, I think. I thought Dubravka was doing pretty well before Pope.
He's had a good season. Yeah, he's had a good season.
Well, he's having a good season. But that's what I mean. There's that thing on people's mind going, do I have to go triple Newcastle players? Could have maybe go for Howe, a bit cheeky. It all depends on whether you want Tabor bonus, whether you want to play safe. We saw what happened to Slot. Slot people who picked on a Slot for AM, and then we had people who went Moyes and Glasner. They smashed it. So there's definitely points to be had there, but can you get that? That luck. Can you get it right?
I think what you just said there's an actual important point. I spoke about the treble ups as a manager who's used the assistant manager chip, so it's not an issue to me. If you still have it, you're reaching a stage now where it's actually becoming awkward. Because when you use the assistant manager chip, it locks you in for the 3 game weeks. And if there's doubles, you might get 5 games, but then you can't bench boost in 32, 33. You can't triple captain if you've got it. So it's a big commitment. I agree, it's the best chip, so it should take priority. And if you think game week 31 to say 33 is the one, then I think you attack that. Even if you bench boost in a single game week, even if you triple captain, I would still do it. That's how powerful the AM is. So I'm in agreement. And if you want some of the Newcastle manager, then of course you can only have the double up. Yeah, 100%. I was speaking more selfishly from my perspective with no assistant manager. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Same with the Crystal Palace, it works both ways. That triple up, you can only get the 2 of them. Because if you want Glasner and you want a taste of the table bonus potentially, which might be there, then yeah, you can only have 2. Which is kind of frustrating because you'd want the triple Palace as well. So yeah, that's definitely something to think about, and it's a good point you made.
Yeah, touching on table bonus before we move on to anything else, and like just briefly, interesting point is anybody who's thinking of going for Emery, which could be some people, they want to go Emery. They then play Southampton, I think, is in his next fixture after that. So I think it'd be from 31, maybe, is it? How it works is, I think, basically, to get table bonus, you would need Brighton to either win or draw. So you need that game to be a draw. If Villa win, they'll get too close, and it actually messes up plans for the whole table bonus. And they're going for Villa, in other words, is But I feel like Emery's a great manager. Villa have been obviously really good this season.
Yeah.
In the Champions League on far, they're in the the FA Cup. That's tempting for managers, right? But you just think if you go for that, you could end up just being like, you know what I mean? Regret it because of what the outcomes happen with the results in the meantime, right?
Well, it comes down to how risk adverse you are and how aggressive you want to play. Me personally, I when I used the assistant manager chip, I used it on slot for 2 game weeks. Tried to go for the safe, steady Eddie, the best team in the Prem, and tried to get the points in. It sort of worked. That late Everton goal, and I can't remember the other one, hurt a little bit. But for the 3rd week slot, I fully committed for a table bonus. I went for Glasner against Fulham, and it worked out. And that's what reminded me how powerful this chip is. Yeah. And depending where you are, if you're playing catch up, 100% go for a table bonus. You have to do it. There's a big possibilities there. The amount of points you can get, literally 20 points from one game. And if you've got 4 of them, I know the odds you're not going to get all of them, but even if you get 2 of them, that's 40 points. Yeah. It's crazy. So I think it all comes down to your position, your risk appetite, how aggressive you want to play it. You could easily do what you said, the steady Eddie. I'm having a great season. I'm top of my mini leagues. I'm going to pick whether it's slot, Emre or Arteta, wherever it is, the top ones that give you just the win points basically and goal points. But if you're playing catch up and you're being aggressive, the table bonus has got to be,
Nice.
Wow, what a discussion! I wish I had popcorn on me just for that little. That was fully sick. No, I really, really enjoyed it. It was great insight and intel from you both. Speak of intel, well, we've already got it presented to us. That's the fixtures now. The challenge, as it usually is for each game week, Mo, is that for everyone, pick one standout fixture. It could be from a Premier League perspective or from an FPL sake.
I think it's the Manchester City versus Leicester. For FPL sake, I'm picking that. I think this game here has the possibility. I know it's not been vintage Manchester City. I know that, but they're playing such a poor team. Really, really poor team that if they score early, even without Haaland now, if City score early and they get that little step, I think they could score 4, 5, 6 goals here, which makes it such an important game for FPL. Because if you are fortunate and it lands on you, the bit of luck that you need, and you pick one of their attackers, say it's Foden, Savinho, Marmoush, that's a 20-pointer is waiting for you in that game. So I think it's a juicy fixture. And then you've also got the added incentive. Even if they do flop, you've still got a nice double coming up in 33. So I think this game here is pivotal. Whether you're wild carding or not wild carding. Some of you, I think Reidy's already got Marmoush, for example. You're poised nicely. It's even a potential captaincy. In my video, I had him as my 2nd favorite captain after Haaland. Sorry, not Haaland. After Mohamed Salah. So yeah, I think to answer your question, mate, I think that's the game that's pivotal for this game week. I think a lot of the other fixtures are not super exciting, as in for FPL. Some quite tight fixtures there, which make it very tricky to predict or get the best attacker or defender from those fixtures. But the Man City Leicester one is a standout. It's a beacon. Even the market odds at the moment have it predicting at least 3 or more goals for that game.
Yeah, dangerous. Haaland's obviously, if he was in that game, would you'd think
Oof.
bag a load of goals. However,
Yeah.
what's been evident this season is, and I don't want to spend too long on this because we all know City have not looked like City. They've missed, the likes of Rodri, but Doku and Savino, maybe not so much Savino because I think he's a decent player. I think there's potential there, but these sort of players aren't suiting Haaland and the way they play. Now, without Haaland there, without the likes of with the likes of Marmoush, and if Foden comes in, that might unlock a few different things for them. And like you said, Mo, there could be a massive amount of goals in this. So yeah, good game. What about you, Chaza? Go on.
Sorry. No, I was going to just add to what you said. You saw City, we know this season have not been great, but against Bournemouth in the FA Cup, they gave you, it's like they show you glimpses of what they're capable of. And there was like a 25-minute period where Bournemouth, who are flying, they're such a good team. One of my favourite teams to watch this season. They're playing great football. They didn't know what was going on. Haaland could have scored a hat-trick, literally in 20 minutes. So when they've shown glimpses, but then they also showed their soft underbelly that once Bournemouth scored, they sort of they went quiet again. So that's the reason I said against Leicester, if they did get an early one and Leicester had a wobble, City, honestly, if they get that bounce, this could be juicy.
That's it. Yeah, very juicy indeed. Chaza, yeah, what fixture for you, mate? I'll let you do the honours next.
All right. I'm going to go Newcastle, Brentford. I just reckon it's a huge game for Newcastle for people hopping on. And for Brentford, it's a big one for the holders who've decided to wait a week or a game week later. For those having Brian Mbeumo or even Flecken at the back. That's one with such intrigue. What about you, Reidy, or are you Man City Leicester?
I think there's a couple of great fixtures.
Give me one.
From a Premier League perspective, outside of FPL, it's the derby. You know what I mean? It's Liverpool Everton, right? That aside, because I don't want to be like this, that. From an FPL perspective, oh God, I mean, it's Palace Southampton. It surely is, right? From an FPL perspective, people are like, right, I'm wildcarding, I'm making transfers. I've got these boys in. Mateta's he's playing with one ear, doesn't matter, whatever. You got Eze, you got Munoz, who's played about 3-4 games international in for Colombia, but people are just thinking, we hope Palace absolutely smash Southampton. Yet again, similar to City and Leicester, really. I know Palace are away, but they've got the ability to score a hatful of goals. So for me, that'd be great. I mean, I'll have 3 Palace, and I've made the move I've made is to get the 3rd Palace for me this week. So yeah, that'd be the fixture for me, boys.
Sound. Love it. Excellent. Great choices all round and all on that same evening. Different games as well. Now,
yeah, the Tuesday, tomorrow's a little bit meh, isn't it? It is a little bit of a rubbish one considering we've got a deadline, but maybe the Saka thing could change things, for people.
Yeah.
If the news is or there's a leak that he's starting,
Right. Transfer trends and the traffic in itself. Mo, starting off with you, man. Reidy, any surprises in the top 5 ins and outs?
Bruno Fernandes this week. I'm sure Man United have Nottingham Forest, one of the best defenses. So that is a big, am I reading that correct? It is Bruno Fernandes because he had a great game week 2.5 weeks ago against Leicester. That ain't going to happen against Nottingham Forest. Now, I do like him as a player. I know he's a bit of a rat, but I do like him as a player. But the fixture's horrible. Nottingham Forest this season have shown it's not just they're not just riding a little wave. They've been outstanding and they deserve a Champions League spot. And you could argue they probably even rested, maybe it's a strong word, a couple of players in the FA Cup, and they still got through on penalties. So that's a strange transfer. That one, even if you're wild carding, it's a strange transfer for me. Yeah, I pick that as the highlight of the ins. Looking outwards, Palmer going is interesting, understandable as well, because the injury and everyone was annoyed. He had 2 blanks, and then he missed the Arsenal game, so everyone was just fuming with him. The reason I say it's something to discuss because it is Spurs next. Chelsea have got Noni back and Jackson, so they're the 2 players that give Palmer the outlet because he's such a creative player. When he gets the ball and looks up, he's looking for the runners. And when those two are out injured, the other lot, I mean, I know Pedro Neto can run, same in Sancho, but they're just not the same. So the point I'm getting at, they could rue that. This week, he could do something against Spurs, who have given up on the Prem, and they're just poor defensively. So, yeah, they're the two interesting ones I can see there. The rest, I think, yeah, makes sense for me.
Are you boys for 10 points? I mean, these aren't real points, by the way, but for 10 points, right? Can anyone tell me the score in the reverse fixture between the two sides?
Spurs and Chelsea.
Spurs and Chelsea, yeah.
4-3.
Yes, bingo.
Yeah.
Chaza got it. And who got the returns that weekend?
Jackson.
I know. No, well, it may have been Jackson. It may have been Jackson.
I'm going to go Maddison scored a goal. Solanke.
No, but I mean, from a Chelsea point of view, right? Because that was I think maybe for me, from a captain point of view, that's where I got burned by Palmer. So it was that week when Palmer, I think he got 2 goals and an assist.
Oh, okay.
Points or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something crazy.
But you see why I'm mentioning it to you. And then Chelsea, at that stage, Chelsea was scoring 2.6 goals per game week. They were the best attack in the Premier League. I think they were second, 3 points off the top of the league. Yeah. I know they've fallen off big time since then, but who knows? What if they turn it around? What if those players coming back can rejuvenate a Palmer that we saw at the start of the season? And I said, Spurs give you chances. Like, surely there's going to be a bit of fire in their belly, because I think the last performance was they were embarrassing against Arsenal. I don't think they had a shot on target, something like that. It was so poor. And against Spurs, surely there's going to be something there to bring goals to this game. So that's the reason I say the Palmer one, people could rue that one.
Yeah, there's a few reverse fixtures as well that were played in that sort of game week. One was Brentford, that at home they beat Newcastle 4-2.
Oh, and Bumo got the 2 goals.
Yeah,
he played right wing back. I remember that because he
blanked. He got a goal and an assist. He got a goal.
And he blanked 4 game weeks in a row before then. Load sold him. I kept him. And then he went on a run after this game and got I think he got 40 points in the next 4 or 5 games. So he that was one of the happy moments. That's why I remember it this season.
Another one was City. City were beaten. I think I might be wrong on this though, but I feel like City were beating Palace. And Palace came back maybe, but Munoz scored to get a 2-2 draw for Palace at home. Another banging sort of game. It was a week of banging games, to be fair. It was Brighton Leicester was 2-2, like we said, 4-3 to Chelsea and Spurs. Forest beat United 3-2 that week as well, and now we've got the reverse fixture here. So the history sometimes does repeat itself, but like you're saying, Mo, about Palmer. If the likes of Jackson are back, Noyes back, and Palmer is back, and people are selling him, it could bite them.
It could turn out. It could hurt you, yeah. But that's FPL, though, isn't it?
That's it. But yeah,
right. I've got a bit of a twist, if that's all right with you, Reidy, because a couple of us may be on a chip. We may take a while, so I'm going to do the captaincy corners now.
Do it now. Run it now.
Get it out the way. Right, okay. Camera here for the first time in 17 years. Okay. Merseyside derby. As per Mo Salah, hosting Everton, 8 goals and 2 assists in his last 12 encounters against the Toffee Shop locals. Okay. In his last game, he claimed the all-time most fantasy points in a singular season with 306, eclipsing his 2017-18 best of 303. In addition, he's only blanked once at home this campaign, and that was at home to Nottingham Forest. Let's go to Alexander Isak territory. Now, he's delivered a 16-point and a 13-point haul, all within his last 4 outings at St. James's Park. In addition, he claimed 8 points in the reverse fixture. Back on his home encounters, in his last 7, he's averaged 9 points, 7 goals, and 3 assists within that run. And you know what? He just scored in the League Cup final. Sorry, Reidy. Jean-Philippe Mateta away at the South Coast, it being Southampton. The Eagles star has blanked just once in his last 8 league outings, 8 points per game. The Saints have conceded the most goals at home of any side, and let's just hand it out. 4 against Brighton, 5 against Brentford, 5 against Spurs, 5 against Chelsea. It's like smack, get out, back into the Championship. And his ownership has dropped to just 7% ever since. Curveball, guys. Umar Mamouche at home to Leicester. Mo, Trophy's already mentioned it. Unfortunately, it's not the best Mohammed in the world in Mohamed Salah. But with Haaland now injured, he should start up front against the Foxes. Got a goal and an assist last game with 12 points in a blank game week 29, which was huge if you wanted to get a jump over managers. If you want to jump over managers, never listen to me ever again with a 29-point outing. In addition, he is the most transferred in asset heading into this game week with 485,000 new owners. That's it for Captaincy Corner, but it's not the elephant in the room. It's chip talk. A couple of us may be hitting a wildcard button. Back to the studio we go. Unmute, untape, just like the Ashton Hall morning routine, how he takes his black tape in front of his mouth at about 3:50 a.m. You guys are back. I'm just not sure if any of you are going to do a mid-air dive for 4 minutes. That's all.
No chance. I'm not waking up at 4:30 either. No chance.
Well, saying that, it's funny you mentioned that. I woke up at 4:30 yesterday, this morning. I was like, oh man, just got a new puppy. So just got a new dog. He's been waking up to go to the toilet. I know this is completely off topic. Right? I know this is completely. I
love it.
But I woke up 4:30. I went, oh man, must be like 6:30. Must be 7. I'll go sort the dog out. And I was like, when you're a bit half asleep still, you're not used, your surroundings and stuff. You're like, and I checked my phone. I was like, 4:30. I was like, what's going on, man? I was like, get back to sleep. Get me back to sleep. So
I went bed at 4:30.
What?
I went bed at 4:30. Yeah.
No, what the?
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah,
no way, man.
Yeah.
I won't even ask what antics.
I was doing FPL stuff, mate, so it's nothing exciting.
No.
There's nothing exciting.
Hey, I was doing FPL.
I was doing FPL stuff, mate.
Which position, mate?
Wildcard position. Seriously.
Yeah, man, yeah. And without further ado, I guess that is a great caveat onto what's the agenda for this game week then, boys. Take it away.
Well, Mo, have you got a chip sorted?
Yeah, I think I'm more than likely. I'd say I'm 90% going to wildcard. I wasn't going to do that, mate. My plan was I'd like to wait one more week, and the more I think, and the Haaland injuries just forced my hand. I'd have to take a -4 to rectify what I'd done the last game week, which was remove Salah, and I could, the word I was going to use, brave or stupid, choose whichever you like. I could just go Haaland to Marmouche and just grit my teeth and wait next week. But then I'm thinking, why? Why don't I just attack Crystal Palace against Southampton like we spoke about a minute ago? Why don't I maybe bring in one more City midfielder and really roll the dice and hope it lands on me? One of the players I bring in, whether it's, I don't know, it's hard to pick. Just say if I got a Foden, just say. And it worked out. He got 2 goals and an assist or something like that. So I think I'm almost certain I will be wildcarding tonight. Yeah, I should activate it after this pod and go for it. I've done a couple of drafts. So I'm not going in cold. Last night, one of the reasons I was up crazy hours. I've done a couple of drafts.
You have to warm it up first, don't you?
Exactly. You can't just go into this cold. No. This is serious stuff. So yeah, I've done a couple of drafts. So I think the wild card, to answer your question, Chaza, yeah, it's going to be activated, mate.
All right, I've got a couple of things for you if you dare to do it. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
And number 2.
Let me in.
Cool.
I'm not going to do it right now, though. If that's what you want to do, activate it just now.
Oh,
right. I haven't activated it yet. So.
He's having second thoughts.
No, not at all. But just think. No. You know what I mean? I don't want to commit to anything.
I know.
I've not had a chance. I had a busy day. Then jumped on the pod. So after this, sit back, take all the information in. Let's have a look at everything.
You got to look at. Well, it's late when it happens, obviously, but price rises, especially on wildcard. You go in. This time of the season, there's no point. Huh? Now I've given up. Not giving up like that, but
Now there's no more. I mean, chasing.
No, but like
prizes
anyone
now.
that's dropping that you don't want to drop budget wise, like you don't want to.
I lost money yesterday. I think Dango went down, so really I should have activated yesterday. That's an example. I didn't even care.
You're just like, oh, okay.
Whatever. It's been unfortunately not to put a damper on it, but it is that type of season now for me. I'm like, whatever, let it go. And I'm still like gonna try hard and try to get the best wild card possible. But yeah.
So what's the aim then? So you're gonna currently 5 million. You're aiming for 1 million.
5 million and 500k. What? If I was 5 million, I wouldn't be on this pod. I would have just said, "I'll see you next season." I would have just said,
I had to try and get it.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
What is your side for game week 30? If you can't get it up, all good. Just read it out.
Yeah, I can. I've got the team right in front of me. What do you mean? How my team would look for the wild card?
How do you line up now?
Let me show you. You know what?
Like, for example, if you got hit by a bus, what would your team look like?
Right now. I mean, I can share my screen if you want.
Have you given anyone else your password, login details in case that happens, so they can activate your wild card?
Nah. I think if I'm the least of my concern is my FPL team. If I die. To be honest with you,
hey, imagine on the will, right?
You see that meme when they get up and make the transfer, they're in the coffin. I'm like, oh yeah, the deadline. Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, I've missed it. Oh my god, did I die before the deadline? Oh my god. Anyway, it's not. It's not that. No, not at all. I've got my team on the screen. If you want to share it, if that's easy. Otherwise, I'll talk you through it. Whatever you want, Chaza. It's up to you.
I reckon just talk through it.
All right, no problem. So, Sales in goal, Kirkes, Gabriel, Vardiol is the back three. In midfield is currently Cliver, Imbubo, Bruno Fernandes, and Palmer, who's still yellow flagged, but I think he should be okay. He's doing full team training. And then up top is Isaac, Wissa, and the Mr. Injured himself, Haaland. On the bench, I've got Fabianski, I've got Dango, and Mekalenko, who's yellow flagged, and Greaves. So you can see why it's a little bit dire. I can't even rely on my bench to bail me out. So
I won't lie to you. I reckon just pull the trigger.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right, Chaza. Honest truth. I couldn't give you enough reasons to go against it. I know some might say 1 more week information. You might get to know the confirmed doubles and blanks. No problem. You might get more information on Saka. You might get even more concrete information on Wood and Haaland. But I don't think that is. I don't think that's enough to not to hold it. So I'm in agreement with you. Yeah, totally agree with you, mate. I almost made up my mind just before I jumped on the pod and the Haaland news broke. I made up my mind. I said, "Oh yeah, it's wildcard time."
Yeah. Okay. Fairs. Nice one, Mo. Excellent stuff. Hopefully that brings a trophy for you, or even manager of the week. Always stay optimistic.
I hope so, mate. I hope so.
How's your team looking? Are you going to do anything, or are you just laughing at us?
Nah, I was just cracked up from that before, but yeah, I mean, I'll show my team. Listen, there's no wildcard excitement for me. I mean, however, with good planning.
When did you use your wildcard? Sorry, really, just to double check.
No. I mean, yeah, it was. Do you know what? It was actually not long, if not the week after we got the second wildcard. You know.
Okay, all right.
It was pretty early, man. It was. I'll share the screen. I'll have a look and quickly check when it was. But I'm pretty sure it was early on. And, like, obviously, that wildcarding that early, it's like, okay, well, your team must have been in bad shape, bad planning. But then you go in, okay, well, you're wildcarding early and you don't know what's to come so far away. You know what I mean? Yeah. That sort of thing. So I had to get it pretty right. I almost got it right as such. Like, I went for like one defender and I should have went for Kirkes, like these sort of little things. I went for Pickford and Mikalenko. You know, some people went for like the likes of Tarkovsky, you know, and done well in the double early on and stuff. I think it was at 24. But yeah, so wild card.
Your team's all right, by the way, at the moment. I had a quick look.
Yeah.
You're set up. You've landed this game week not too bad, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, so
147 did I just see? Wow.
Yeah, game week 24.
Yeah,
oh my god!
That was triple captain low on it.
Oh my! I used the triple captain on Haaland, the game week where he had the highest XG I think of the season, and he got 6 points. That's when I knew. I did say to you this season. I knew from early the Grim Reaper was there. I could see him. I could see him. He was just there looking at me. I could say, "Oh yeah, all right." I could see, but that's beautiful. That's the kind of game week. You must have had what kind of, let me see the game week score. Go back up. 108.
That was high for a lot of people, though, wasn't it, Mo? Like, look at that. So I played Hall, and I had 11 points Munoz on the bench. Like,
you still got Red Arrow, 140. What is this? What is this?
No. So I didn't get a red out.
Oh, sorry, that's this game. Sorry. Yeah. I thought it was that game week. I was about to say, wait, what?
Imagine getting nearly 150 points in the red out. You're like,
you got to delete the app.
Smashing everything up. Yeah, you'd be smashing
crazy.
Yeah, but Wildcard for me was 21, I want to say. Yeah, 21. So,
okay.
I played the Wildcard. That thing of, normally when people Wildcard, they think, I want to have a good Wildcard week. I know it's not like the be-all and end-all, because obviously you're planning for moving forward and things. But I had a decent Wildcard week, so I was like pretty pleased with that. But yeah, that was it. It was the Ahmad hat-trick week. Do you remember when Ahmad scored a hat-trick?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
Or whatever, and he got that 20-pointer. I mean, like, I know we don't celebrate too many United things like Mo, but that was sweet.
That one came in clutch for you, yeah.
That one came in. So for this week, though, for this game, we got to go back to that and not digress too much. I mean, this is how I'm set up. Double Palace defense, as I was saying before. I don't mind it. I mean, like I say, there's going to be people in Wildcard who are on like double Palace attack, and then one like Munoz, for example.
Yeah.
But Henderson's been decent, so I've ended up with
He's been very good. He's been very good. Slyly going about his business. So I said earlier on, he's actually a viable pick. I mean, people used to laugh at Henderson at the start of the season. Now he's actually a viable pick. So yeah, you're right there. You're set up really nice. I mean, one of the conundrums I can see for you, or not even a conundrum, is what's your appetite with captaincy? Because I see you've got it on the King Mohamed Salah. He's only blanked 4 times this season. He's inevitable. Like, he's the best player in the world. But do you, with your rank or your risk appetite, do you go Marmoush in a game where there could be 4, 5, 6 goals? The Everton game, I do think we win that game, but I don't think it's a thrashing. Maximum 3-1, maybe 2-1, 2-0. Where the Leicester City game, that could be it. Maybe I'm building it up too much, but I've seen Leicester play a lot this season.
Well, we fit the chorus now, Mo. So we did build it up.
This is not the main part. So the question I'm asking you is captaincy. Have you even considered it or no?
Oh, it feels like one of them weeks where I think you go in, no, he won't do it again. He won't do it again. You're like, I'll just try and pick someone else or go against it. Oh, it's a better fixture for someone else. And what I do agree with in terms of that it won't be easy, like you said, Mo, is we're usually not great after the international break. Now, I know we've almost like had an extra break this time.
We have,
FA Cup and after the final. So all those players who look leggy and were maybe taking knocks, getting injuries, like you think we're coming back now and it's the perfect game for us to come back and go, there's a reason why we're champions elect, so to speak. It's not done yet, as we said before. But that's what tells me going, although I know City are capable of smashing Leicester, they've also been bad. And I'm just going, all it takes is for Mo to get a pen and an assist. And it's at home, and I'm going the game. Like,
and he's a midfielder points, clean sheet point. There's so many things that just stack up in his favor. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm in agreement, and I'm not going to deter you and mess you up. I'm not going to do that.
No, honestly,
I might do it. But I'm not going to deter you. But definitely.
No, it's like another interesting thing, right? Haaland's not there. Who's the penalty taker when Haaland's not playing? Do we know
that? Well, I tried to look into it for my video, and I put a question mark beside Marmoush. We're not quite sure. We've not had that scenario where he's been on the pitch and there's a penalty and no Haaland. We've not had that scenario, so there's a lot of assumptions. I really don't know. I'd like to think he would take it, but I don't know.
Marmoush, because free kicks and he takes corners. He's on set pieces, right?
I'm sure he took penalties for Hendricks as well. So I think he had a good record. I think so, unless I've just made that up. But
he might. Have right? Yeah, imagine a like Marmoush, couple of pens and then assists and one. It's tempting. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the most captain is going to be Salah. Now Haaland's injured.
Well,
it was going to be Haaland, I think.
No, it won't. No, it would have been
No,
Salah.
you think even it was still going to be
Haaland's
Salah?
ownership was too low. It wouldn't have had enough time to rank up that high. Salah would have been maybe 140% ownership if Haaland was fit. Maybe. But now he's injured. It's back to 180% ownership or something silly like that. Unfortunately, that's maybe some will go Isaac, some might go Marmoush. They're the only other options this game week.
A Palace mid, if you want to be too spicy, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's really spicy.
Right?
That's really.
Like,
I mean, Palace away form. You just said a minute ago. Look at them against Fulham. Fulham are very good this season, and Palace peppered them 3-0 at their ground. So you never know if they turn up like that against Southampton.
And that's the second time they've done it. They beat them 2-0 in the league. That was the Glasner. That was the AM.
That was the Glasner I had him for the AM. Yeah. So. Yeah. But anyway, so your team, I think you look in good shape this week, and you've already made your transfer, didn't you?
I made it. I took out Wood. I had Wood. Brought in Mateta. Did that today. We know Mateta's fine based on the pressing and all the rest of it. We know Wood's out. Dango's I'm not going to go and sell Palmer this week. Like, say he might be out with a bit of luck. Maybe if that's the case, Dango's playing and starts against Ipswich. But I'm not benching. All 4 of them are penalty takers. All the front 3 that I've got, obviously we talked about Marmoush briefly, could be penalty takers.
Could be.
Well, we know Isaac, we know Mateta are, right? So I could have there on that pitch, I've got 7 penalty takers. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna risk playing Dango because I'm going, he's got a nice fixture there. He could potentially start.
He's a minutes risk as well, so you can't do that. No, you've got the right 11 playing. You've got the right, basically, and you've got the right captaincy, if I'm honest with you. It's maybe not the most exciting, but
I have got a question though, because I know Chaza wants to get to his wildcard, so I don't want to spend too long. But the question for me is, so I've used my wildcard, I've used my triple captain in 24 on Mo, as we've seen before. So I've got left as it stands, I've got free hit, AM, and bench boost left, right? They're the free chips. Now, I'm tempted to AM. So if you look, I've activated the AM, right? So it's actually pending because, as you know, it doesn't actually come into play until you pick the manager, right?
Yeah.
So you can cancel it. But I'm potentially thinking of AM in this week because I want a free hit in 33. Now, people who are on the other path of like wildcard this week, they're going to AM from 31 to 33. They're going to free hit in 34, stuff like that. Am I doing it the wrong way round in a sense that I want to AM now so I can free hit in 33, have a full 11 of doublers? 34, I'm going to try and navigate. It may involve 1 hit. Or do I do it the other way round and I AM next week, so I delay it a week, do it from 31 to 33, and then I free hit in 34. I
think that one there gives you 5 games, which is so juicy.
However, it does give 5 games. However, it involves. Say I went for Eddie next week, I could get Eddie for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
It involves then 1 transfer in 33 potentially for Arteta, say.
Which is fine because it's almost guaranteed to make them points back and more with interest. And if just one of those picks a table bonus and it goes your way, you're flying already. Seriously, you're playing with. You can play relaxed and take a bit more gambles with it. I think definitely prioritize the AM. Definitely the free hit. So AM, I think for me is either 31 to 33 or 36 to 38. I think they're the 2 slots left for me personally. 36 to 38, maybe a bit more trickier because come end of the season, we're not quite sure. Very difficult to predict. Loads of teams are fully on the beach. Where now you've still got that grit. You can pick managers, like you said, Eddie Howe and whatnot, because they are playing hard. I think that's the priority. I mean, I like the idea of what you said, free hitting 33. I've heard others discuss that because it allows you to get the maximum City, maximum Villa, like Watkins and stuff you can get, and don't have to carry them after that.
And loads of people on wildcard now aren't going to be going, say, for example,
they're not.
Say Haaland's back by then, right?
Yeah.
Saka's in full swing. Now I know we've got like Arsenal Champions League, we've got, FA Cup around, whatever it is, semis being played. But for me, the way I was looking at it was I maximised the free hit in 33, So anyone who's going free hitting 34, they can say I think Fulham have a great fixture that week. So people might pick Fulham. But I'm like, well, I'm going to do better in 33. So therefore, even if I have to take a hit, say 34, I don't think they'll do better. People who are free hitting 34 because I don't think the fixtures are as good. However, the downside of it is AM this week. It's a bit.
It's not ideal. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a tight one. And this is one of those scenarios that we discussed earlier that you're going to look back. One of them will turn out to be the optimum. When I look at it from now, my take would be the AM 31. I think I prefer. But I know you're not the biggest fan of that because obviously it blocks you of the potential aggressive 33 free hit, which is nice. And I do like that. I discussed that quite a lot last night in some of the spaces I was involved in. But if you was looking for help there, mate, I can't help you because both of them are good. And there's pros and cons to both. And it's just about... Me personally, I think I would be going AM 31 to 33 and get the 5 games because just for the sake of AM's the best chip we've ever had. You're talking 50, 60 points.
Yeah.
Like 40 to 60.
If I did do that,
your free hit, you might, you know what I mean?
If I went Eddie next week, for example, I could do Eddie for 2, well, would it be 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. So he plays less the next week. I mean, I could go for a table bonus, but it involves a transfer then in 32, obviously.
But because you have to remove one of your Palace players.
No, well, I could go for, say, for example, I was saying before, I could go Emery to Howe to Arteta, right? Obviously, that involves 2 transfers, because the first one's free. And I'd be going higher as well in terms of money. I'd have to make sure I have enough to go to 1.5. Howe to Arteta would be fine because it's same value. So there's a couple of dilemmas for me because I've got no wildcard and I'm like, I want to smash this free hit. I'm like, I want to have Saka in 33, potentially Haaland. If I could fit Mo, because I know it's a single game, but he has Leicester. And then we're just going, this week doesn't look great, but I'm going, if I do it this week, all right, I only get, I think it'd be Eddie Howe, say, for example, if I just went for him, I'd get 4 games, by doing that. But I'd be able to go for that and attack that.
Which is not bad. I mean, you're selling it to me because, like you said, if you get the free hit right on 33, you basically get to pick players that people would not be able to get to. Like you can Watkins, Rodgers, and someone, just say, as well. Yeah. So, and then what Haaland, you could get players that no one can get to. So you have super differentials with wicked fixtures and a double. So I definitely see the plus side. Well, it's tight because the AM is so powerful, but yeah, I'll be intrigued to see which way you end up. So it looks like to me you've been sort of like you're one foot in with the AM.
I'll cancel it for now. I'll cancel it for now just to not to get too carried away. But yeah, it's nice to get obviously someone else's opinion. And like I was talking about it with Chaza earlier today, or briefly talking about, and I'm like, which one do I do? Which one do I like? Is going to help me the most? Because if I free it in 34, I'm effectively in the same boat as everyone who's currently on the wildcard path. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah. All right. Well, I've spent enough on it. Let's get to the wildcard, Chaza. Show me what you got, mate.
Right. So, actually.
I thought you were ready. I thought you were hit us then. You'd be like, bang.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I accidentally removed my own screen when I was meant to bloody add it in. So that's sort of Monday night. And for those tuning in, that's 30 seconds. You'll right. Hang on, I've got to remove yours. That's correct. What's going on with this? Seriously. Okay. Speaking about what's going on seriously, this is where we're at. It is 3 transfers, 1.7 in the bank. Stuff it. We're just going to pull the cord tonight. So Wood goes out. Dango goes out. That guy definitely goes out. He goes out. He goes out. That's the rest of the squad. Was that it? I think that's probably it for now. So, and while it's just like Tantalizer trying out the best chicken and can of Coke on Merseyside, I'm going to sing the song while I bring players in. So she'll be coming.
You wouldn't have Fabianski, would you though? Have you got bench boost?
Coming around the mountain.
I love it. Mo's on it there, spotting the space. He's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yo,
yeah, man. Like Hoyson as well. You keep Hoyson.
Mate, it's a great Asian sauce. Don't disregard it.
There's no shredded up left. It's gone, man. There's fucking not left, mate. You can't be keeping that around. You know what I mean? You need to move on to something a bit tangy, a bit spicy, a bit of teriyaki, mate. Oh, here we go.
Wouldn't give a shit about my season. Give a shit about my season. Give a shit about my season. Oh. Just gonna bring players in. See what happens.
Okay. Murphy. Interesting.
Oh, nah. Let's get him in the moment. He's Daniel Munoz.
The template team is coming now. Here we go. There we go.
4-3 though. 4-3. Oh, burn.
Right, now where do we go? Oh yeah, back guy goes.
Who? Mbumo. 7.8.
Oh my word, where do you go? All right, that's what I reckon, lads.
That's my team, isn't it? You watched my video. Yeah. That's my team right there.
You watched my video. He's like, Mo's
that's
like,
my team right there. Right.
What about Aina? Huijsen? Like, you're not gonna get like a Gabriel
or like a Villa. You could go like I was thinking about this. You could go a Villa defender to get a doubler, but then Nottingham Forest is just so much more better than defensively. Even though with no doubles, you cover arguably one of the best defenses in the Prem. So I'm in a similar scenario. I think I had Milenkovic there, but it could be any like you, Aina or anyone else. Who else is? I'm trying to think if there's anything that's a bit more different you could do. Oh, you've got Bowen. Okay, that's different to me. Who have I got instead of Bowen? I've got can't remember now.
Yeah, I
think I've still got Kluivert.
You got Kluivert, yeah, right.
But I might change that. I might change that.
Interesting.
Jeez, I might got a bench each week.
We could get Rodgers for the Aston Villa double, but then they've got so many fixtures.
1.1, yeah, right.
1.1 in the bank. Wow.
Do I go Munoz up to a Timber? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe.
Nah, you go Gabriel.
No chance.
You don't mess about. You just go Gabriel.
Yeah.
I think that's the only worry for me having Timber is that when it comes to this, the Champions League and whatnot, is he going to get rested for the likes of White? You know, we don't know.
It's a good team, solid team. I think we're going to see a lot of these teams knocking about. Unfortunately, my team's not going to be far off. I think we're going to have maybe 3 players. That's how strong the template team is actually.
This is what's going to block out Mo. It's the assistant manager, but I actually don't reckon that may be the best play heading into a 33. It's either bench boost or free hit.
Oh yeah, you've got assistant manager as well.
Yeah,
he's got 4 chips left. Most he's got Wildcard.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, you're in a you actually need to get on your bike and start using some of them. So when was he thinking of using the AM then?
Mate, 36 to 38 season finale, dead rubber ranks. That's what we're at.
Yeah. That's a good one. Nothing wrong with that. And triple captain, Gameweek 32.
Mate, 24. Mate, remember FPL Juice, mate? It just killed your show.
Oh, yeah.
You got high. We were talking about me, 147. I think Chaza got 1.5 something.
That is, he had a madness. Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
All right.
I've erased them delicious scores you guys got. Oh. So, yeah, the team's solid. Like, you're not going to get far from that. You might tweak, 1 or 2 players. I could see you might get not cold, but you might want to change Bowen. Maybe you might want to spice it up and Foden potentially.
So you're keeping that's the one actually that I didn't spot. You're only going to City, and you're keeping Palmer then.
Oh yeah, I reckon Palmer might bounce back.
Palmer might, and also the reason it's good to keep Palmer potentially. This is one of the arguments for him is that if Chaza, say Saka. Looks like the fitness is there, and game week 33, he's in a double. He's going to play both of them. Then he swaps Palmer for him. The money's there, basically. It's like it looks after your money. So you've got a premium penalty taker, in theory, one of the top players, looking after your pot of money for Saka. That's maybe how I see it, where if you use that money and say, like you said, Saka pops off and we're thinking, oh, hello, he's back. You can't get to him without 2 transfers, which is frustrating.
So... in summary, that means Pickford, Fabianski, Robinson, Greaves, Dango, and Mbumo Wood all out. And then Areola, Raya, Munoz, Burn, Murphy, Eze, Marmoush. Simple as that.
Yeah. Looks, to be honest, solid.
He wants to do it.
I'm just going to play it, stuff it. Yeah, see ya.
It's in. Locked. Well, team's not locked, But
nah, you can make more changes, but the team's
Yeah.
solid. Yeah, it's
what's your thoughts on the on the Raya pick? Like, it feels like people are just, obviously people are getting in because they think, well, A, Arsenal are the best defense, probably, I'd say. And B, people are going because of the double, the double.
It's the double. It's the double. There's potential in that double. They can get 2 clean sheets. So I think that's the reason. I think on my draft, I think I had double Arsenal defense. I had Raya and Gabriel.
Yeah.
So when I bench boost, it's potentially I was looking at that as an option to fully, because I can't see an Arsenal attacker. The only one that was maybe viable is Saka if he's fit. Where the defense is, if I don't see Arsenal taking their foot off the pedal. I know people are thinking they're going to play just for Champions League Real Madrid. I don't think so. Second place is not even guaranteed, so they need to keep their foot on the pedal. So I like the Raya pick. Nothing wrong with it.
True. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Add on. I guess he's just popped in for a laugh. When did Rev get a haircut?
Oh, nice one, nice. But yeah, I mean, one wild card's activated. One of the one's going to be activated tonight. I mean, you boys, I take it with these wild cards, you're kind of setting up for a bench boost later on at some point as well.
Yeah, bench boost. I think in my head I've got 33, but it could change to 32.
33 for me now, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much in it. Like this season with the way, as I said, the way the doubles and blanks have landed. Normally you do the wild card to optimize 15 doublers. No one ain't getting 15 doublers this season. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
Like max, I think max, I looked at it, I was projecting I'll have 7 or 8, but I could reach 10 if I use the free transfers that I've gathered.
Oh, what? For 33?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
See, this is why it tempts me, man. I'm thinking, a wild card is going to have like a full 11 doublers, man. I'm thinking Watkins, fucking Saka, like, oh, it's tempting, man. It's tempting. But that AM as well with the 5 games, that's super tempting. Super tempting as well.
That's it. Well, I think that does it for tonight. What a brilliant discussion between just the beautiful dynamics of Reidy and Mo just taking the cake. And let's just say your guys are the cake. I'm just the plate. Just there. No one's going to eat it.
Nah, mate. You got the good bits left over, mate, on the plate. That's the thing. Those bits of icing that people go back for. Like, oh, you know what I mean? So don't worry, Chaza. Appreciate you just as much, mate.
Beautiful. All good. Mo, thanks very much for joining. I appreciate it. And if there's anything you want to give a plug, now's your time.
Well, please, first of all, thank you for having me. Really enjoyed that. Thorough, good discussion, and helped me out as well, because as I said, I'm activating my wild card hopefully tonight. But check out my channel on YouTube, Trophy FPL. Please subscribe. Watch my latest video. Very important, actually, for all of the topics we discussed today. I've got all of them covered in the latest video, so definitely check it out.
Beautiful. Brilliant, Mo. Thanks for coming back on, mate. I mean, like, it's not the first time you've been on. Really appreciate it. And as well done, mate, this season. I think you've kept cracking at the content and whatnot. I love your videos personally. I think it's great, short, sharp. You've not kind of got too disheartened with it, and you just kept going. You've kept going, mate, and I think it's a credit to you. I mean, obviously, since the first time I met you, I thought you're a top guy anyway. So
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on, mate.
Likewise, mate.
Hopefully you can get a respectable rank this season, because we know it's tough, mate. I know you don't care at this point.
No. Of course I care. No, sorry, I don't mean it in that way. But I'm saying the odds are against it now. Yeah. So I'm at 1, but I will keep trying until the last game week. So yeah, no giving up here.
Love it, mate. Love it.
Last one. Just before I go, I love it when Mo sends me a reel on Instagram, even though I've seen it twice on my feed. But the funny part is that he likes his own reel that he sends over. Like, he already likes his own work, and he just wants to let me know about it.
But some of them reels.
I'm gonna send you some. I'm gonna send you some later on. Just some extra ones. Don't worry.
Some of them reels over the international break were brilliant, though, man. They had me
you know what? It's international break. We got to have a bit of fun in it, because, like all of us, I think we were all bored in it. No football, so yeah, it's just a bit of lighthearted. I think Instagram's a good place where we can just catch some jokes as well,
Oh, all day.
That's the whole point of it, isn't it, really, isn't it? So,
definitely, man. Definitely, yeah. Well, good luck, boys, on the wildcard. Whatever you decide. I mean,
thank you.
I know you're probably going to have quite similar wildcards and whatnot, but yeah, I'll let you know what I decide to do. Hope I've not got long to decide, obviously, until tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, fingers crossed for me, boys. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh yeah, Reidy, Saturday deadline stream. I think we could be back for another installment.
Let's see, mate. Let's see what we can do. Let's run it up.
Beautiful. All good. Speaking about running this town, I hope you do it. Game week 30, everybody. Until next time. See you later.